In recent years, there has been much debate on whether or not we should put more intense restrictions on the ownership and sale of firearms. There's been multiple claims stated today, and the policy claim that the United States should impose a federal ban on the sale and ownership of assault-style firearms has got to be the worst, for multiple reasons. Let's start with the first point, number one. It wouldn't change anything. So, sub-point 1A. It didn't work before. In 1994, the federal government imposed an assault weapon ban, which primarily prohibited the manufacture, transfer, and possession of semi-automatic assault weapons, which are defined through the Act by a specific make and model. Now, according to a report done by the National Criminal Justice System, only a quarter of all gun crimes prior to the ban were committed using weapons that were included in this ban. The report also stated that whilst it was effective in the beginning, by the late 1990s, it was offset due to the use of pre-ban large capacity magazines. The 1994 assault ban excluded guns and magazines made before the ban. So my opponent also refrains from giving statistics on how effective this was. And that's because it wasn't. Subpoint 1B, the workability of this ban. It isn't logical. In raw numbers, 8.5 million semi-automatic rifles like the AR-15 were produced between 1990 and 2012, as reported by the Trace. Overall, this doesn't seem like a large number, but calculating all those produced before 1990s along with any other type of assault weapons, it works out to well over 20 plus million weapons. The difficulty in getting 20 plus million Americans to turn in their firearms would be astronomical. On top of all that, guns that were grandfathered in wouldn't be able to be pulled out of circulation. And with that, crimes committed with illegal firearms still would persist. It just wouldn't work. Point number 2. These assault weapons aren't any more powerful than any other guns. Subpoint 2A. Firearm power is determined by the caliber of the ammunition used. Many assault weapons use the same ammunition as common hunting rifles and shotguns, according to the NRA. Subpoint 2B, these assault weapons, like the AR-15, haven't been used in more than a small percentage of gun-related crimes. Handguns are much more widely used than other assault weapons, according to multiple sources, like the NRA, the Washington Post, the Trace. It's all, if a common handgun is more effective, how could it possibly be more powerful than an assault weapon? Point number 3, this is a very slippery slope. Gun control supporters have labeled numerous weapons as assault weapons, mislabeled numerous weapons as assault weapons, and it could lead to all firearms being banned. Many common guns like simple shotguns and sporting rifles have been mislabeled as assault rifles, like the AR-15. The AR-15 does not stand for assault rifle, it stands for Armalite rifle. And it is not an assault rifle either, because assault rifles are selective fire and can be used fully automatically. And the AR-15 cannot do that. This mislabeling leads to a lack of understanding of what an assault weapon actually is. Subpoint 3B. This fear-mongering tactic of mislabeling could lead to every rifle and firearm being considered an assault weapon, and thus be banned by this proposed policy claim. The Public Safety and Recreational Firearms Use Protection Act defines an assault weapon as a semi-automatic firearm capable of accepting a detachable magazine, having a folding or telescoping stock, having a pistol grip that protrudes beneath the action of the weapon, having a bayonet lug to allow the mounting of a bayonet, having a threaded barrel to accept flash suppressors or muzzle brakes, being able to equip a grenade launcher, or being able to have a barrel shroud. Now, many of these attachments that you can put on this kind of weapon aren't available to the public. Like grenade launchers are not available to the public. Flash suppressors, regular suppressors, and muzzle brakes. Maybe muzzle brakes might be, but flash suppressors and suppressors are not available to the public as well. Subpoint 3C. These cosmetic changes don't make the weapon more dangerous. An AR-15 is no more dangerous than a hunting rifle or a shotgun, according to the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Pistols, shotguns, revolvers, and hunting rifles don't fire slower than a common AR-15, so they are just as useful for anything like that. Point number 4. Gun sales are an integral part of our economy. The National Shooting Sports Foundation reports that $52,087,506,400 is generated per year in the firearm industry. Much of that is put towards different causes like wildlife conservation, paid to employees, or generated in sales taxes. Specifically, $6,821,514,300 is generated in tax revenue. So, to reiterate, this policy claim would not work due to the workability, usefulness, and infringement upon our rights. Alexander Hamilton once said, "The Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States who are peaceful citizens from keeping their own arms."